A very good afternoon, dear students. I hope you all are safe at your place. I, Professor Sonal Agrawal, welcome you all on the digital platform of Agrawal Vidya Vihar English Medium College. This is the lecture for the subject Banking Law and Practice Paper 2. In the last lecture, we have completed our unit number 4, that is the bank guarantee. Soon I will provide you the notes also for that chapter, and it is advisable that as soon as I will provide you the notes, so start learning off for that chapter, because I may plan for the quiz also on for this chapter. And now on today's lecture, what we are going to do, that we are going to start with the chapter number 1, that is the employment of bank funds. The question arises that what do you mean by the employments of bank funds? So here you can see in simple words that employments of banks fund means the uses of the banks funds. Here, whatever funds banks are having, so where the banks are using that particular funds. So many sources of funds are there. So what are the uses of that funds? So all these things we are going to study in this chapter. That where the fund, where the banks is going to use the funds the banks are having. But the question arises that before the uses of banks fund, we have to discuss about the sources of banks fund. That from where banks got the money. Yeah, from where banks got the funds. Yeah, what are the sources of banks funds? This question is important from the examination point of view. Also, sometimes they ask in the examination about the sources of banks funds. Yeah, this topic is not written as a head points in your syllabus, but as you know that it is indirectly related to the syllabus. Before discussing about the employments, we should discuss about the sources. So it is, you can say, implied topic for your syllabus. So it is IMP from the examination point of view also. Sources of banks funds means from where banks are going to get the funds. So according to the criteria, the sources of banks funds are bifurcated into the two categories, or you can say according to the nature of funds. Here is a bank's own fund, and the second one is the borrowed funds. Sources of banks, again I am repeating, the sources of banks fund I bifurcated into the two categories. That first one is the bank's own funds, and the second one is the borrowed funds. So it is self-understood from the words that own fund and the borrowed fund. I think no need to explain the meaning of the bank's own fund and the borrowed funds. But yes, of course, we are going to discuss about the criteria, that what are the own funds and what are the borrowed funds for the banks. So started with the topic in detail about the bankers funds, or you can say the sources of banks funds. Let's start with the topic that bankers sources of the funds are bifurcated into the two categories that we just saw. That the bankers first classification of the sources of funds is bankers own fund. That own fund are means the banker which are having the, or you can say the owner of the bank which are having the funds. Here your owner's fund, this is, you can say, bankers fund, bankers own funds mean the owner's fund. So here the owner's fund is mainly bifurcated into the three categories. First one is the paid up capital, second one is the reserve fund, and the third one is a portion of undistributed profit. Again, I am repeating, the bank's own fund is bifurcated into the three categories, or you can say the owner's fund for the bank is bifurcated into the three categories. That first one is the paid up capital, second one is the reserve fund, third one is the portion of undistributed profit. So now let's start with one by one. First one is the paid up capital. I hope you know the meaning of paid up capital. No need to explanation, I think. If you are from the, of course, you all are from the commerce stream. Some of the students who are from the science stream may not be understood about the paid up capital, but of course, you have learned the accountancy in FI become, even you are from the science streams. So you are familiar with the paid up capital. For an example, suppose the authorized capital of the bank is 1 lakh rupees. Out of the 1 lakh, the bank issued the 70,000. So 1 lakh is the authorized capital, 70,000 is the issued capital. Out of 70,000, the public purchased only the share of 60,000. So that 60,000 is the subscribed capital. And out of the 60,000, the banks call the money from the public, that 50,000. So 50,000 is the called up capital. Out of the 50,000, the public pay actually only the 45,000. So that 45,000 are the paid up capital, and the remaining 5,000 is the false in areas. Here, I hope the classification is understood from the example that first 1 lakh rupees is the authorized capital, 70,000 is the issued capital, or 60,000 is the subscribed capital. Out of the 60,000, the bank called 50,000. The 50,000 is the called up capital. Out of 50,000, public paid only 45,000. So 45,000 is the paid up capital, and remaining 5,000 is the unpaid capital. You can say, or you can say that also in arrears. So I hope the meaning is very clear with the example. So paid-up capital is the capital which the banks get either from the members or from the shareholders. Here, the members, or you can say the owners or the partners, can purchase the share capital, and of course the other parties are outside the parties of the shareholder is going to purchase the shares. So paid-up capital can be get either from the members or either from the shareholders. So, according to the section number 11 of the Indian Banking Companies Act 1949, it says that a bank in India must having a certain minimum amount of its paid-up capital, then only the bank is able to start the business in the market. If the minimum paid-up capital is not there with the bank, then the bank is not the authorized one to start the banking business in the market, according to the section number 11 of Indian Banking Companies Act. But this minimum requirement can never sufficient. Of course, here any banking business cannot be entirely depends on the owner's fund or own capital or paid up capital. Here, this is always a you can say smaller part of the bank's total fund. This is not a sufficient amount so that the banker can run the business only with the help of the paid up capital. This is just a part of the total fund of the bank. It has a look that the bank has to rely on the other sources also or other funds also to start the business. Yeah, this is just a smaller part of the total funds of the bank. So now the second source of the fund is about the reserve capital. You may be very much familiar with the word reserve. Reserve fund is of course the another source of the fund which is maintained by of course all of the commercial banks. Here there is a commercial bank here the provision is given by the bank or the you can see the rules is given by the bank that minimum amount of the reserve fund must be maintained by the bank so the banks can strengthen their financial position in case of any adverse situation, this fund is going to help them. According to the compulsion of the Reserve Fund Act, minimum 20% of the normal profit which the banks are earning out of the banking business must be kept aside as a provision, or you can say must be kept aside as a reserve. So suppose the banks are earning 100 rupees, so out of the 100 rupees, 20 rupees must be kept aside as a reserve fund. Here I'm talking about the another reserve fund. This is not your CRR, capital reservation, your SLR. Here this is something else. This is not your CRR and SLR. I hope you know the meaning of CRR and SLR. So this is not so. Here you know that after maintaining this reserve, every bank has to maintain the cash reserve ratio also with the RBI. That is also another source of reserve funds. And every bank has to maintain the SLI statutory liquidity ratio. So this is again the another form of reserve fund. So out of the total profit, the bank has to maintain a 20% of the reserve fund, and the banks has to maintain the SLR and CRR also. So these all are the reserve, these all are the funds is going to strengthen the financial position of the bank. In case of any adverse situations, the banks can use these funds. Now the next, the third sources of fund is about the portion of undistributed profit. Here, as you all know that the bank is also a profit earning institution. Whatever profit earned by the banks is again distributed out of the members to the shareholders and in the form of interest to the customers. So the profit must be distributed, but there are always certain portion which is remain undistributed, and this is an another source which represent the accumulated profit which have remained undistributed over the years due to the one reason or another. So every year the banks kept aside some undistributed profit, and over the year that undistributed profit become a big part of the bank's fund, or you can say it create a major portion of the bank's total funds. Sometimes banks willfully also set aside a part of the unprofit every year so that it will be helpful to them in case of adverse situation, and of course it will be a you can say it is a good source in the bad weather when the anytime bad situation is there, so the bank can use this undistributed profit of course. So these three are the you can say owner's fund or the bank's own fund. No need to pay the interest on these types of funds. This is the bank's fund, and the banks are free to use these funds in case of adverse situation or as per the wish of the customer. So first one is about the paid up capital. The paid up capital is the capital that banks get either from the members or either from the shareholders whenever the capital is issued by the banks. And the second one is about the reserve funds. The banks has to maintain the reserve funds according to the Banking Companies Act, and this reserve fund, the ratio of the reserve fund is different according to the types of the ratio. For the compulsion ratio, the portion is different. For the CRR, it is different. For the SLR, it is different. Sometimes the banks also kept aside some of the reserve for a special purpose like diversification or to start a new branch. So these types of additional reserve is also maintained. Sometimes contingency reserve is also maintained with the banks. So it depends on the types of the reserve, that whether it is compulsory to maintain or whether the banker are maintaining that reserve as per the wish. The third one is about the undistributed profit. That every bank is a profit earning institution, and bank has to earn the profit, and that profit must be distributed to the shareholders and to the members, and in the form of the interest rate that must be distributed to the customers also. But there are always a certain portion of undistributed profit is there which the banks kept aside every year, and over the year that undistributed profit create a major portion of the total bank's funds. Yeah, so these three are the bankers' own funds of the. You can say these three are the sources of bankers' own fund. The second classification is about the borrowed fund. So of course you know the meaning of the borrowed fund, that the fund which is borrowed from the outside parties, and on that fund the banks have to pay the interest. Yeah, but on the own fund no need to pay the interest. Why? Because these all are the owners fund. These all are the funds of the bankers. Yeah, so no need to pay the interest on these types of funds. But yes, the fund which is borrowed from the outside parties, so on that amount the bank has to pay the interest. So the bank has to be very careful, and bank has to maintain the proportion between the owner's fund and the borrowed fund. Why? Because if the borrowed fund is too high, then of course the interest expenses will be also too high. So because of that reason, bank has to keep in mind that the borrowed fund should not be so much. But of course, for other financial institutions, they have to keep in mind. But we are talking about banks. So here, in case of banks, most of the funds are the borrowed fund. Why? And how we are going to discuss in this topic, that first borrowed fund is about the public deposit, and you all are very much familiar with this public deposit. Here, the deposit which you as a customer are depositing in your account is the main source of fund for any banking business. Here, the public deposit the funds in the form of cash with the banks. Why? Because as a customer, we are having lots of trust with the banks, and we want to save our money, or we want to save our excess money. So we are using the services of the banks, and these deposits in the, it may be in any form here, or it may be from any account. It may be from savings account, current account, recurring account, FD account. Out of these total accounts of the funds, whatever will be the total deposits banks get from the public, from the customer, so that deposit is known as the public deposit. And it creates a major source of funds for any banking business. Here, in fact, acceptance of the public deposit is, you can say, it is one of the main function of the bank. As we discussed, the traditional functions of any bank, that accepting of deposit and granting the loan. So as this is a traditional function of the bank, so of course the deposit will be the main part of the sources of funds. And of course, which is accepted on various terms and various types of accounts. This constitute, you can say, at least 90% of the total resources of the funds. Here, suppose 100 rupees of the funds are as a fund banks are having. So out of the 100 rupees, 85 to 90% are public deposits only. And the banks deals in money. So as we already discussed, that banks deal in public money. We are why? Because the banks are having own fund. But these own funds are a smaller part of the bank's total funds. Generally, banks are dealing with the public money. So that's why at the time of lending function, or at the time of lending activity, banker has to be very careful. It is a public deposit which makes, and you can say it marks the financial stability, and it stands the financial stability. And of course, it will be helpful to the in the progress of the banking institution also. But on this types of deposit, the banker has to pay the rate of interest. Here, the rate of interest is differ from different types of account. For the savings account, it is different. On for the current account, it is nominal. You can say recurring account, it is different. For the FD account, it is different. So the rate of interest is different for different types of account. But of course, here, as it is a borrowed fund, it is borrowed from the public via way of deposit, in the form of deposit. So the banks has to pay the rate of interest on this amount. This is about the borrowed fund. The second example of the borrowed fund is the borrowing from other institutions. You may very much familiar about the money on call and short notice here. Banks in India are permitted to get the fund or get the resources by other financial institutions also. And but this is generally for a shorter time period. This is not for a longer time period. The example, as I gave you the example that you may heard about the money on call and short notice. So banks are asking for money from the other financial institutions also, or you can say the from other banks also in case of need. So this is the example of borrowing from the other institutions. You may be familiar with the repo rate and that the banks are borrowing the funds from the RBI. So this is the example of borrowing from other institutions that banks can borrow the fund from the RBI also, and on that the banker has to pay the rate of interest, and that rate of interest is known as the repo rate. And what is the current repo rate? This is the homework for you. I am going to give you the answer for this question that what is the prevailing repo rate and the reverse repo rate in the next lecture. But till then, try to find out the repo rate and reverse repo rate for nowadays in the market. Now the banks in India, of course, are permitted to borrow the funds. And we are discussing about the example. The first example is about borrowing from the, of course, Reserve Bank of India, because the Reserve Bank of India is the lender of the last resort. All the banking institutions are allowed to borrow the fund from the RBI. Then the second, the bank can borrow the fund from the other commercial banks also in case of need. It includes the State Bank of India also. As we all know that State Bank of India is working as an agent of the RBI. And the bank can also borrow from fund from the Life Insurance Corporation of India. Bank can also borrow fund from the Unit Trust of India, UTI is there, and the Industrial Development Bank of India. So many institutions are there working in the market, so the banks can borrow the fund from that type of institution according to the need. So these all are the example of borrowing from the other institutions. So what we are discussing about the funds here. So the banks can borrow the funds from these types of institutions also. But again, the same thing that it is not free of cost. Of course, the bank has to pay the rate of interest. And the last point about the borrowed fund is about the other sources of bank funds. Here, the banks can accept the deposit from the public. Bank is also borrowing from the other institution. Now, what are the other sources of bank funds? So here, in the other sources, we are discussing about here that bank can issue the bonds also. As you all know that the banks are also having the bonds. Bank can issue the debenture also. Cash certificate is the example. Banks are discounting your bill of exchange. We have discussed these things that whatever will be the commission or whatever will be the discount for the customer, that is the income for the bank. And other so many negotiable instruments are there to raise the funds from the market here. So with the help of this negotiable instruments, banks can raise the funds from the market. So these all are the example of the other sources of the bank's fund here. So about the capital, we discussed as the capital is the own fund, especially the equity capital, and other capital like other forms like debentures and bonds, other borrowed capital. So that are the part of the borrowed fund. You cannot discuss the debentures and bonds in the portion of capital. Here, please don't discuss. Sometimes it was the experience that in the explanation of the paid up capital, students also write about the debentures and bonds. Please don't do this. Paid up capital, here we have to discuss about the owns fund, and only the equity capital is the owner's fund. And here debentures and bonds are the borrowed funds. Why? Because on that it is compulsory to pay the interest. It is compulsory to pay the interest on debentures. Why? Because it is secured and it is the borrowed fund. But if there is a no profit, so no need to pay the dividend to the equity shareholders also. So that's why it is the own fund. So there is a difference between the own fund and the borrowed fund. Please don't do this minor mistake in your explanation point of view. These all are the sources for dependable sources or independable sources of the banks. Why dependable and independable? Some types of sources are dependent on outside a party, and some types of the sources are not dependent on anyone. Why? Because they are the owner's fund. So these funds are also known as the dependent fund and undependent fund. So this is all about the sources of banks fund. From the next lecture, we are going to start with the employments of the banks fund, or you can say the forms of advances where the banks are using the funds. So this is the end for today's lecture. What we did in today's lecture, we have started with the unit number 1, that is the employment of banks fund. I discussed the meaning that employment means the users of the bank fund. Whatever the funds banks are having, so where the banks are going to use that particular fund is called the employments of banks funds. Now, before discussing about the users, we have to discuss from where the banks are able to get the funds. So that sources of bank funding is necessary to be discussed. Let me discuss about the sources of bank fund is bifurcated into the two categories. That first one is the banker's own fund and the second one is about the borrowed fund. After that, we discuss about the further classification of these two funds. That own fund is bifurcated into the three categories: paid up capital, reserve funds, and the portion of undistributed profit. Paid up capital it can be get from the shareholders and from the members. Reserve fund is maintained by bank itself, and portion of undistributed profit is the portion that kept aside out of the profit every year. So these three are the owners funds. Here these three are the sources of owned fund. Let me discuss about the borrowed fund. The first sources of borrowed fund is of course the public deposits. All the banks are depending on the public deposit for banking functions. Here, if the number of customers are of the bank are too less, then of course the bank is not able to survive in the market for a longer time period. Why? Because the public deposit is the main part of the bank's fund. Almost 85 to 90 percentage of the fund is made out of the public deposits. And the second sources of the fund is about the borrowing from other institutions. Here the borrowing from RBI, borrowing from SBI and borrowing from the other commercial bank are the best example for this. And of course the banks can borrow from the other institutions like other financial institutions like LIC, Life Insurance Corporation of India, UTI, Unit Trust of India, IDBI. These all are the example of other financial institutions from which the banks can borrow the fund. And the last is about the other sources of banks money. Here you have to discuss about the bonds, debentures, other negotiable instruments, commercial certificates, cash certificates, bill of exchange and all. Here these all are the other sources of bank funds. Here. This is the end of the today's lecture. In the next lecture we are going to start with a new topic. Till then stay home, stay safe and start learning. Have a good day. Thank you.